There comes a moment in every life when tiredness stops being physical and becomes a background vibration, a constant hum, a quiet ache that follows you through the day. Have you felt that? You wake up tired, you walk tired, you talk tired, you smile tired. And then, somewhere deep inside, you sense something moving, something knocking, something trying to get your attention. Carl Gustav Jung wrote, "The psyche is always striving for wholeness." So what if this exhaustion is not your weakness, but your first signal that your inner system is demanding a restructuring? Let me explain. When you stop noticing what you used to ignore, fatigue makes you pay attention, not to the outside world, but to what's happening beneath the surface. In busy seasons of life, you ignore things. The tension in a conversation, the feeling of being out of place, the small betrayals you swallow, the dreams you keep postponing. But when exhaustion settles into your bones, something strange happens. You become aware. The details you once overlooked become sharp. You hear things you weren't supposed to hear. You feel emotions before people show them. You notice the tremble behind someone's confident voice. This is not imagination. This is not oversensitivity. Jung called it the autonomization of a complex, a moment where a part of your inner life breaks away, acts independently, and demands to be seen. Your thoughts start spinning on their own. Your emotions flare without permission. Your body reacts faster than your mind. And you wonder, what's wrong with me? But Jung would say, nothing is wrong. Everything is waking up. Exhaustion is not just tiredness. It is data. When you've carried too much for too long, when you've swallowed your words, held your breath, smiled when you didn't want to, lived a life that does not match your inner rhythm, your psyche tries to restore balance. Jung called this compensation. If your outer life becomes too far from your inner truth, your mind starts sending signals. Irritability, emotional numbness, noise sensitivity, burnout, loss of motivation, a sudden desire to be alone, a sudden intolerance for things you used to handle. These aren't random symptoms. They are coordinates, showing you where you've abandoned yourself. Ask yourself now, what feeling sits underneath my fatigue? Is it resentment, stress, loneliness, overload, or simply the exhaustion of carrying roles that no longer fit you? Awareness changes the whole dynamics, because the moment you name the truth, the psyche softens. Jung said, where powerlessness begins, the possibility of transformation appears. Your exhaustion is not the end, it is the entrance. The cracks in your perception are openings. When you're tired down to the soul, it feels like your perception cracks open. Through that crack, all the material you repressed for years begins to rise. Emotions you ignored, truths you denied, insights you weren't ready to handle, needs you pushed aside. They surface not to break you, but to finally free you. This is why people often cry when they are tired. The mask slips. The roles loosen. The ego stops performing. Fatigue weakens your defenses, but it also weakens the illusions. And through that comes honesty. Jung believed that during exhaustion, a person begins their first real dialogue with the self, the deeper center of personality. Try asking yourself right now, what has exhausted itself in my life? What no longer works? What needs to change? These are not rhetorical questions. They are doorways. When you see too much, the gift of sensitive perception. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension before anyone spoke? Have you ever sensed that someone was sad, irritated, or pretending before their face showed it? Many sensitive people carry this gift without knowing what it is. Jung called it heightened perception when the ego is weakened. It happens when your mind is too tired to maintain social filters, so you start picking up the subtle signals that others miss. A flash of fear in someone's eyes, a forced laugh, a tone of voice that doesn't match the words, a smile that doesn't reach the eyes. You don't analyze it, you simply know. And here's the difficult truth. People get uncomfortable around someone who sees them too clearly. Why? Because Jung said, people fear being seen not as they imagine themselves to be. Your presence becomes a mirror, and many people don't like what it reflects. They project their shadow onto you, blaming you for emotions they are unable to handle within themselves. So, if you've ever felt, people avoid eye contact with you, someone gets aggressive for no reason, someone tries to dominate you suddenly, someone becomes defensive even though you said nothing wrong. It's not about you. It's about what your presence awakens in them. Your clarity exposes their contradictions. Your sensitivity reveals their discomfort. Your truth disrupts their illusion. But remember, this is your strength, not your burden. The turning point. When you stop arguing with your own perception, there comes a moment when you stop explaining things away. When you stop saying, "It's probably nothing. Maybe I misunderstood. It's not a big deal." No, it was something you did understand, and it is a big deal. Jung said, awareness arrives when a person stops resisting what they already know. This is the moment your inner self returns. A quiet confidence rises, not loud, not aggressive, just a steady inner truth whispering. You saw this long ago. And the minute you stop arguing with your own perception, the whole world changes. The manipulations lose power. The guilt disappears. The emotional hooks fall away. The fog lifts. Clarity arrives like a calm ocean at dawn. And people can feel it. The silence that scares them. When a person becomes internally clear, they don't get louder. They get quieter. Their reactions become softer. Their words become fewer. Their decisions become final. This calmness makes others uneasy because they can no longer provoke you, guilt-trip you, confuse you, manipulate you, hide from you. Jung said, what is accepted stops tormenting. When you accept the truth, you stop being emotionally pulled by others. Someone tries to guilt you, you see the mechanism. Someone tries to provoke you, you stay still. Someone tries to confuse you, you remain clear. This calm looks like strength because it is strength. Not the strength of force, but the strength of clarity. The return of inner power. When you stop fighting your sensitivity, something beautiful happens. You begin to use it consciously. Jung taught, vulnerability becomes strength when it is understood. Your perception becomes a compass, a navigation system. You begin to choose who to let close, where to invest your emotions, what environments support you, what relationships harm you, what situations drain you, what directions feel true. You stop living for expectations. You stop explaining yourself. You stop carrying burdens that were never yours. You stop shrinking. And you begin to return to your natural shape. You become precise. You become present. You become whole. And gradually, you build a life where your sensitivity is not a wound, but an instrument of truth. The final message, your fatigue is not failure. Listen carefully. Your exhaustion is not a sign that you're weak. It is a sign that you're finally waking up. It is your psyche saying, enough pretending, enough forcing, enough carrying what is not yours. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open. Everything you're feeling has structure, meaning, and direction. Fatigue is the doorway. Awareness is the step. Clarity is the return. And transformation is the path ahead. Breathe. You're not lost. You're not late. You're not done. You are becoming whole. If this video helped you understand your fatigue, your sensitivity, or the signals your inner self is sending, take a simple step toward more awareness. Hit the subscribe button and join a journey of self-discovery and inner clarity. Then tap the bell icon so you never miss insights that help you wake up to your own life. Remember, exhaustion isn't failure. It's the doorway to understanding yourself, reclaiming your energy, and living with truth. Because your mind, your perception, and your sensitivity are not weaknesses. They are your compass.